Testing.
Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome our viewers as well as those that are coming through the door.
Testing. There you go. I thought you was coming over.
Good afternoon and welcome to Temple of New African Thought. Our digital viewers as well as those that are present, we're happy to have you here today, and we have a special guest speaking, Baba Ausar. So y'all make sure you send some welcoming text, make them feel comfortable. I'd like to greet all my Ndugus and the Dadas that are here and just celebrate the fact that we have a lovely day and that we got up this morning because a lot of people didn't make it.
Oh, sure.
So we're just very grateful to be here today. And we typically start with a libation, and if there's any creative expressions that are to be held, we do that as well. So we'll start with libation. One moment.
You pour the water and Mama can talk to.
All right, we're going to begin our libation pouring. And if you're new to TNAT, libation is specifically to honor the ancestors, our family ancestors, and our community ancestors and global ancestors. And we do it as a means to connect with them and allow them to know that we need them. We need their guidance, we need their assurance, and we need their wisdom. So, assisting today with the pouring of the libation is Brother Parrish, Ndugu Parish. So, let's begin.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. We just want to give thanks and praise right now for all of those who made it through the mid-Atlantic voyage and the work that they did despite the oppression and the terror that they experienced. We want to thank them for their tenacity. We want to thank them for their strength. We want to thank them for their prayers. We want to thank them that despite it all, they continue to move forward. And for this, we say Ashe.
I
Yes,
say.
sir.
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit. Mm-hmm. We also want to give homage to those who did not make it, those 1.8 million Africans during the voyage did not make it to South America, did not make it to the Caribbean, did not make it to North America. We remember you. We lift you up. We send you light. We send you love.
Yes, sir.
Ashe.
I say.
We want to give thanks to our community ancestors. And if you'd like, you can speak their names. I'd like to lift up, well, I'm not going to say the one that just recently passed. Yes, she needs 40 days. But I lift up Madam Lumumba. I lift up Winnie Mandela.
Yes, sir.
I
That's
lift
it.
up,
Marcus Garvey.
thank you,
Yes, sir.
Marcus Garvey. I lift up Patrice Lumumba.
Yes, sir.
We lift up Sekou Touré. We lift up Queen Mother Moore. Ashe. We lift up Rebecca Crumpler, the first Black physician, female Black physician in North America.
Mm.
And we lift up all the other contributors that helped us stay together, move together, and be victorious together. Ashe.
I say. I say. Oh.
And now we want to lift up our family ancestors, those that are related to us from our father's house and our mother's house, those that nurtured us and taught us and guided us on the path that we're on today. And so you can call them by name. I lift up Raymond L. Beatty. I lift up Jesse L. Jackson.
Yes, sir.
I lift up Wilbur Beatty. I lift up Loretta Whitlock. I lift up Jane King. I lift up Mamie Burke. I lift up Jesse L. Jackson. I lift up Mary. I lift up Mama California. I lift up Lolly Hammonds. I lift up Sweetie Hammonds. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you. Ashe. Arise, 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 and shine. Arise, 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 and shine. Arise and shine. Beautiful people, arise. Arise in the light of God's wisdom. Beautiful people, arise. Your time has come. Beautiful people, arise. Create your ancestors' vision. Go back to your old time religion. Shine in the light of God's wisdom. Beautiful people, arise. Your time has come. You better be true to yourself. You must learn to define truth and take pursuit of that which is real. You better see what you can do by getting yourself together. If our nation's to be strong, we gotta be prepared for any kind of weather. On your guard, life is full of games. Keep in mind that it is all the same. And then you hear a voice taking you back. And then you see the glory of your past. Work and strive for that which lasts. Kings and queens arise. It's time to visualize. It's time to realize. Beautiful people arise, yeah. Beautiful people and shine, yeah. Beautiful people rise.
I say. All right. So today, you got anything to do, bro? Brother Paris, anybody else got anything you want to contribute to? So let's do some breathing. All right. Okay. We can set down our chairs where we are. That way we don't need to move. First thing we're going to do is going to open up some meridians. So we're going to start rubbing here. And then we're going to, that's where your lungs is, up top right here. And then go down. Waking up the body. Awakening the body. Opening up the meridians points. All up and down the arm. Such meridian points on the arm. It's like the heart, the pericardium, etc. So we waking it up. All right, let's go on the other side. Start from here, right, and go down. We have meridians in our body, and by smacking our body, we kind of open them up. If they clogged up, it's like a water hose. If the hose have a knot in it, that means that it's, the water can't go through. So we open the flow up by opening the knot up by pat. All right, now rub our hands together. Slide up in your seat a little bit before you can reach the back of your back where your kidneys are. Feel that warmth in your hands. I want you to keep that warmth in your hands. Take a deep breath. Hold that breath. Put your hands behind where your kidneys is. Now, imagine shooting that heat in through your kidneys. Ready? Shoot. That's one. Let's do it again. Hold your breath. Put it behind. Shoot. 2. Us. Get the door for mama. Yeah. Yes. Hold your breath. Shoot. All right. Welcome, mama. Everybody give mama a hand. Come on in. Your seat is waiting for you right here. Everybody, welcome mama to the house. Yeah. Ancestors to bless us. Yeah. There you go. What's up, mama? Yeah. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to contribute? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he used to be my student. Yeah.
I seen the sun. I say like I want to say it was either Wednesday or Thursday. I seen it. Our Belvedere Square, and we was talking. He said I looked a little stressed, and at that time I was feeling a little stressed because I had a lot going on. Currently, focusing on the test for barber school.
Okay.
And in that stage, I happened to fail it 4 times. And in the process of taking it the third time when I failed it, I really got down about it. I was like, what's going on? So I was just trying to look for other ways to study. And I took it the fourth time, I failed it, but the score was higher than the last time. So I was like, okay, progress. Just keep going. So I'm focusing on the fifth time. But it was that also dealing with, I'm doing photography, doing a little photography, and I just started also doing videography. I did a gig with my brother, and he's like teaching people how to, he landscaping, so he's like teaching people the steps and guiding on what to do and what not to do. So just going through that experience and the lack of sleep at the same time. So that all contributed.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
But I ain't gonna tell y'all get back to it. So when I seen him, he was telling me to come out here. I was a little late today. I was trying to do a little too much, trying to cut my hair.
Yeah, you're on time.
So, but thank you. So, but I thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, welcome. Yes.
Well, I just want to say that I'm happy to see everybody.
Yeah, Mom.
You all know that you are the loves of my life. And I just want to ask Spirit to breathe on us, to breathe faith, unity, and Ujima, Kuumba, creativity, solutions for the so many problems that we're having today as a people. Just keep us together, keep us alive, awake, keep our leadership positive, keep us growing, especially able to have the younger generation to survive all this and to have a chance at a better life. Ashe. 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 Ashe.
Ashe. Oh. Yes, Lord. Yeah. Anybody else? All right, I think that's good. How everybody feeling today? Welcome, brother. I can help you with that barber thing, okay? All right, I'm a barber. Yeah. I'm a master barber. But that's one of them. Well, Mama, once again, welcome back. And they got me up here in this chair, the one we don't like. But it's okay, yeah. But I was thinking about oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, once I started rolling, I'm just rolling. But it's just like I was thinking about a topic for today, and I was thinking about African Americans, and we have many names we can call Black Americans, everything. But as being African Americans in America and the things that we have accomplished, I think it's fantastic. So never be, ashamed of yourself. Like we was in slavery. That's not it. We conquered slavery, right? Ashay? You know what I'm saying? So today we're gonna talk about African Americans and what it means to be an African American as the blueprint around the world, actually, because you have African nations that that's doing their revolution now, and we are the model of that revolution. Ashay? All right, so we can start off with whoever wants to start off.
I guess I could go. As I get older, kind of getting more into the identity thing. Like you said, we have many different identities: African American, Black American, Negro, and freedom is another one. Me personally, I think African American, that term is kind of confusing though, because you have like Africans who migrate over here, and then they have children, and they're also African, but they can also be considered African American. You know what I mean? So I've also had this discussion with Minister Assar in regards to, and I've said it on another occasion on a different Sunday in regards to the FBA, because now we have people saying that there's Foundation of Black Americans, it's another new term, and then you have African descendant of slavery, I believe ADOS, which was created by Yvette Carnell. So the term, I mean, I understand people who use the term and what they mean, but it's also kind of confused to me. But I digress. So I'm going to piggyback on what you said in regards to us influencing other African cultures in Africa and how they're becoming more revolutionized based upon what they see over here and pretty much what we do. But it's not even just that. I see them kind of mimicking our culture that we created here. Some of them start to dress like us. You can see the influence in the music. Not even just in Africa, but it's also in Asia. Certain parts of Asia that this influence is touching. And it's being more, it's getting put more into the public view, but it's not really popularized how much power we have here and how we really create without the intention of creating influences by our very nature, if that makes any sense. So it's like we're not trying to purposely influence them. They're just looking at us like, oh, look at what these people did, look at how much they got accomplished. And back to what you were saying, how we shouldn't be ashamed of where we were because we conquered slavery, but we're doing things now that isn't really we're not really paying attention to the magnitude of the impact that we have in affecting other cultures alongside our culture. But somehow we always get focused on the negative aspect of things that go on in our community. You know what I mean?
Yeah, understand. But the focus come from where though? The media.
Yeah, it's the media. I agree.
Right.
The media, it's education. It's what we are programmed to see. Then it's psychological too. So like the first law of nature is self-preservation. Preservation. I'm sorry. Preservation. There we go. Sorry. But our mind tends to focus always on the negative things and not really look at the positive things. And that's to go back to my point on how much power we have without even realizing that we are influencing other people and they're following behind us. And they really want to be us. But unfortunately, they also fall victim to the propaganda of the negative stereotypes that are perpetuated against us on how we're just these chaotic people and how we don't have culture and how we have low IQs, all these negative labels that's been thrown on us to deter us from who we really are. And every day we actually prove it wrong, but the way the mind works, the media that's owned by these people, the education that's been set up to indoctrinate us, all of these attempts to undermine us is, I would like to say, I don't know if this is the right word to say, but it's like for someone to put this much effort into all of these systems to undermine us and we still can overcome it, it just shows how great we really are.
Exactly.
So
I say,
yeah.
Yeah, I affirm that, and I've struggled with the term African American, Negro. So now I don't care what you call it in terms of that. I don't care. I mean, Negro, African American, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter to me.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, because we've been through all of that.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But the other thing is that we cannot be denied. We as a people cannot be denied history.
Right.
Carter G. Woodson said that in 33. Dr. Clark said it in the 19th in his speech in one of his books that we're studying now. We are at a point where we cannot be denied. That's why they're looking to the African Americans, or whatever we want to term ourselves in America,
Exactly.
as a torchbearer. Unfortunately, they had the power and the strength outside of America. We don't have the power and the strength, but we had the direction, because we've experienced something none of those, that the majority of those others have not experienced. Our history and our trauma is out.
Exactly. Imagine being, brought over here. And then let me say this too for everybody else. We were here before they brought us over here too. All right. So we ain't gonna get that argument, that's a kind of ridiculous argument if the whole thing say that everything come from Africa. Everybody come from Africa. So that's that self case. You understand what I'm saying? But in the conditions we were brought over here and how we bounce back, you know what I'm saying? I think it's just fantastic. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, we got something so deep down inside us that denies us, deny us not to be great. Whatever we do. That's why they try, how America tried to ban everything for us not to do it. We couldn't play basketball one time. We couldn't play baseball one time. You understand? We couldn't take a role in the seat of the government. All these things were put, I call them traps. I always say, how can you, even our young children today, I always say this, how can you blame the deer for getting his leg in a trap that is set in the woods for him when you set the trap?
Crazy you said that. It's like we came over Black Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
We
Right.
focus on ourselves and
Right.
our people. They didn't want.
Nah.
They wanted us to focus on.
Exactly. And for y'all don't know who Black Wall Street is, go ahead, Mom. Tell them a little bit. well, they always say, go to yourself and if you want to, we don't need you. But they really, when a person say they don't need you, really, they really need you. Everything in this country that you probably can look at invention wise, we did that. Even the internet today is us. You know what I'm saying? So we contribute so much because I'm gonna say it like this: we are the creator of creating. Ashe? Right.
Back to what Parrish was talking about, in a sense. We used to talk about the African American, and we came to a point that we called ourselves Africans born in America.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I kind of got stuck there.
Okay.
But I know even a lot of Africans would contest that.
Yeah.
But that's the way I see us. Even though we were separated, it wasn't our design. So we were born in America.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think about the fact that people want to say that we are hateful or we are this, that, the other. But I always said that I don't have time for hate because it takes so much time trying to love Black people.
Wow.
I don't have time left over to hate anybody else,
and hate is part of the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the trauma. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the one thing that does worry me to a sense now, and it has for a long time when I first saw it coming, is the fact that we give everything away. We teach everything to everybody else. Some things to me that should be sacred. Like everybody is African dancing now. Everybody all over the world, they having these workshops and they are out dancing the Black people. I was kind of scared of that was what was getting ready to happen at the Conqueror Festival because, they were showing all these TikToks and things of them doing workshops on the streets of New York and all this stuff. I said, "Oh God, he gonna get up on the stage with a bunch of people," and because to me that's part of our spirituality.
Exactly,
It wasn't
right.
something that we were just doing for fun. It was the heartbeat. Our heartbeat, and it hurts me. Even way back in time when I would be like in a dance workshop and somebody of the other persuasion, might be around me or whatever, it would take my concentration away, you know. But anyway, that's just where I am. I'm just worried, and I have to use the term worried because I'm trying to be truthful. I'm worried about the state of our being right now. It says so, it seems so much is headed our way. And sometimes it seems like we're just sitting and waiting for it to come. We talk about it, and people say this is being done and that's being done, but we know how much power, as you said, that we would have to overcome, have to defeat. So.
Yeah, but again, I think that's something we always have been against. We always been against the win.
Right.
By being against the win, when plants grow, whether you know this or not, if you're growing a plant inside your house or something like that, certain plants, they are weak, but the wind helps them. That's why you can cut fan on plant, because it pushes this way and it pushes this way, and it gives it strength. So I think, the wind that those people of power give to us, give us that strength. And I don't think Mama really, I'm worried about us not continue to have that strength, because the younger generation, although they have been pitted against themselves, I do see them conscious. Like we have people here today, and we have all other organizations but once again, they don't show that. The media is not going to show that. You know what I'm saying? Right? They're going to show always the opposite side of what they want you to see. But I don't think we'll never have to worry about that, because we are that type of individuals.
Yeah, they definitely won't show that, because they definitely didn't. I didn't see anything or hear anything about the Race First national convention we had last weekend. Over 35 Pan African groups, organizations came together on a unified basis to do something.
From different
So
states too. I didn't even know.
as far as way from Brazil and Canada, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But they only want to focus on the worrying. Want people to worry that energy.
Yeah.
You can trigger that energy. That's where we'll leave you at.
Sometimes, it feels like maybe it should not be televised. Maybe it should be kept.
I want to second what Mama Don said, and I appreciate the idea from Dougal Jamal. But I mean, I think even in the expression of the development of what we're trying to do, it's probably best is not televised. That type of stuff is probably. But as far as positive Black images, that's more along the lines that we don't see. Like positive things happen in the Black community, whether it be and on the continent or in the diaspora, but the media tends to focus on negative things, or even if it's positive, they give it a negative connotation. They talk about it in a negative way,
Right.
Or what might happen, what could happen negatively out of this, even if it's something positive going on. Oh, it's going on now, but just you wait, something bad has to happen, and that's why I think we did talk about in the conference about having our own narrative. We talked about it here in the temple, having our own narrative, not letting our story be dictated by somebody else. I mean, it makes you angry that it's not out there, but we have voices, we have power, and we have to put power in those actual outlets and not say, oh, well, it's only a Black podcast. Oh, it's only Black media. No, it's what we need to hear. We don't give credence to somebody else's stuff more than we give our own. So.
Okay, great. Anybody else got an intake? All right, so Mama, actually, this is my second question. How do we prepare the next generation to continue the legacy?
Well,
See, she got insight. She didn't know it.
y'all made me come today. Laying in my bed saying, I don't think I'm going. But just like y'all started the rites of passage program, you know, we've always, well, I won't say always, but when we did it, we started with the children when they were young, you know, and tried to inspire them to follow our leadership. And it's kind of nerve wracking too that that particular group in a lot of way, as they got to become adults, it seemed like they wanted to spread out, run away from it. You know, but I think at the same time what they were doing was trying to figure out their own way to do what we were doing, because it wasn't like they were really saying now y'all wrong, but it's like they were saying, but that's not how I want to do it. Right. And I don't know how much of that was because they wanted to be worldly. Some people use the term worldly, but I can even use my own children as an example. You know, I'll use my son. He was my oldest. He just turned 50 this year. And as after he got older, well, when he became, you know, of age, that was when rap was real strong and stuff. And so he went out into the world, and, you know, sometimes I would have no idea where he was. But if we had a program, he was supposed to be a drummer for the little dance troupe that we had and stuff, you know. Somehow he'd always get back in contact with me in time to come on and perform. Okay. But then on the same side, he was doing his own little thing, you know, with this little rap group and dance troupe and stuff, you know, hip hop dance troupe. And people would come back to me saying things like, oh, it's so sad. OB lived such a hard life. And I was like, OB who? What are you talking about? And then he just went all the way wild with it. And I'm ashamed to say he married a white woman.
Oh, Lord.
But, you know, at this point in his life, he's now showing that he remembers everything that we tried to teach them, you know. Right. So I really think that's it. We just have to do the best that we can do. And in the ways that we know how to do, the things that we believe in, show that it's really a belief and it's a lifestyle and it's not just the talk. Right. You know, we have to really walk what we talk.
Yeah, we used to say we had to drop seeds wherever you go. You don't know who's going to pick that seed up. Right. You know what I'm saying? You don't know the influence you have on another person. I got a little story of my own that I cut hair. I'm a barber, right? So when I was working in the shop, I always had an uncle, and that little boy looked at me. He like, what is that? You know, because he's seen it as the cross, but he never seen the cross like that. So I explained to him it's called the ankh, and you have the two. Male and female, you know, I pointed out what it meant to him, and that was it. You know, I figured that he was curious about that, so that was okay. So years later, I'm in Drew Hill Park, and we're doing Tai Chi. I got this person looking at me. How you got a person looking at you like, what's going on with him? So I said, well, y'all can continue to do Tai Chi. I'm going to go up there and check him out. Maybe he want to join Tai Chi. Maybe he want to join the class, business part of it, right? So when I got up there and I looked at him, he said, you don't know who I am, do you? And I was like, and you trying to look through this person. So the eyes never change, right? So I'm looking at his eyes and I'm like, yeah, I know you, but not with all this. And he laughed. He said, you used to be my barber when I was smaller. And I said, yeah. So I haven't seen him in a long time. He didn't have a beard and all that. But he said, you know, you changed my life. And I'm like, huh? What you mean I changed your life? He said, you told me about the Ankh. I said, and he explained to me how I told him, you know, about the Ankh. And then from that little conversation, he went further in his life with that. You know what I'm saying? Checking out his blackness and everything. So I say that to say this. Continue to tell children. Continue to tell the world. Continue to tell everybody around you our story. You don't know who can grasp it. You know what I'm saying? Even in my own family, myself, you know, I told all my children they didn't have a choice. You know, they was taken to everything that I could take them to show them the blackness, the gift of love that we had. You know, the only thing that it is that everybody's not gonna grab it like the other person. Now it happened to be that my son gravitated towards it, and you can see, you know, where he is today with that. Not saying that my other children don't. They like you said, they all know now. When they come down to that blackness, that's who they are. They know they are black and proud. Let me say this for my children. All of them got their own. I always tell them to go to school, get a good education to create a job. And all of them have created a job. And I'm blessed with that one. Ashe? Right.
Ashe. Yeah. How do we get to the youth? How does this thing evolve? Well, you said it first, Mama and Donnie, with the Angea transformational right. And essentially, not essentially, but that's right there, setting the foundation and the stage to change the narrative from within. And when we want to look at black
Elegancy?
No, excellence. Yeah.
Excellence.
Yeah, I'm like you now, bro. But once again, Carter G. Woodson talks about doing things in-house, meaning right here at TNAT, we have Dr. Ausar, we have Chef K, their two sons, they're involved with this right here, they're growing together. So this right here is a blueprint of how we get to the youth, how we get to the elders, how we get to those that's in between. And it starts with a little group like this, with the idea started with Minister Ausar. So it's growing. I've been here 7, going on 8 years. So I've seen the growth. You know, so the example is here. Acknowledging is one thing, acceptance is something else.
Ashe. And speaking about our youth, because Mama brought an idea in my put an idea in my mind. I was thinking about how we, you know, when we came up, I guess we can say we sung, you know, revolutionary song. We marched. We did boycott. And that's why I couldn't figure out why we stopped boycotting. That's how we got most of the stuff that we got. I never forget, I come from Farmville, Virginia. We had Safeway wouldn't hire us. Okay? Wouldn't hire us at all. And meaning that no black people could work there. So Reverend Griffin, peace be upon him, he organized, and we said, we're not gonna shop there. You know how many weeks it took for Safeway to hire somebody? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. See, they love money. That's why I say boycott works. I don't know how it got out of the picture.
It wasn't passed down to us.
Right. It wasn't passed. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it wasn't passed down to you.
I say like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like with my generation, I didn't like, even when Martin Luther King, like, yeah, we would hear about it, especially in schools, but you know, they're not going to like push that public school system.
Right.
That's something that you have to learn on your own, or your parents or somebody in your surrounding area would just teach you and give you examples of that. Like, I'm using myself for an example. Like, I didn't realize how effective a boycott was until I was in my mid-20s.
But you knew about Martin Luther King, though.
Yeah, I did. I
okay, all right.
But
so
I didn't realize the magnitude of how what he did with the boycott, and how he really like crippled a major essential part of society by just, you know, transportation is essential.
Right.
So Yeah, like
Right.
they weren't making no money.
Exactly.
I think they changed like laws or something over that too.
Whatever.
There
Yeah.
was some laws
Yeah.
changed, so it was like I didn't realize like, oh, we could do that with other avenues and branches of life.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we look at it and we see it's effective, but we don't see how we can use that as a weapon and as power. Like we don't have to do anything. Our absence from participating in these systems shuts it down because we contribute the most.
We just did it again too with who was it, Target?
Yeah, it was Target.
Walmart.
It was Target.
Yeah,
it was Target.
Yeah, we just did it again.
And I think I think McDonald's has something going on recently.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's dealing with black people in particular, but I heard they are about to get some hot water.
Okay.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we know how to handle the situation. We just have to come together and just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think in terms of boycotting and the light in which Bob was talking about, and what you're talking about, Brother Paris, is once again coming from our studies in jail, right? We as black people across America, we will herald and champion every other cause but our own. You know, not saying that we don't champion our own causes, but comparatively speaking, I mean, you know, I mean, we out there on the fields for the immigrants, right? We out there on the fields for the GP, you know, the
You talking about the Palestinians?
Yeah, we on every front but our own.
We
We
divide.
on every front. What is the LBG? You know, that dynamic. We talking about the immigrant, you know, what Trump is doing with getting people off the street. We in that dynamic. We're in every dynamic but our own.
But I don't see it like that. I think we are setting back this time. I don't see us out there with the immigrants trying to get them. And you might see 1 or 2 or 3 out there. I don't see us as a mass of people going out there and doing that now. Not today. No, I don't see us doing it. I mean, that's just my opinion. Right. I mean, I haven't heard anybody gave me the call to come out there yet. You know what I'm saying? So I think we land back now, and that's what they don't like. I look at certain things. They are asking us to come out there. You know,
that's what I was gonna say
Right,
too. Because
right.
what I've seen, you know, posted and whatever,
Yes, exactly.
is a lot of black people are saying this is not our fight.
Right.
You know, they're like going spiritual about it and saying this is not our fight. You know, our time has come. All we got to do is wait through it and stuff. You know,
Exactly.
and I don't know.
And then when we get involved with things, the dogs, the water holes, the shooting, the bullets, all that come out with it. You know what I'm saying?
So go ahead,
Go ahead, bro.
No, so the one thing is the reason why, like I'm with you. I think even what Abu was saying is like there are certain social media things that get riled up that like, okay, we're with it. So black LGBTQ people, they're gonna support the LGBTQ music, not because they black, but because they LGBTQ. The immigration thing, most time is like people in the community, they say, okay, that's a symbol of what we went through. Because the real deal is like our struggle, no matter how much they want to diminish it, is the catalyst of fighting. Exactly. So when we're in the fight, that's the hardest fight that the opposition had, because our fight is the catalyst. It's the one I don't care if you talk about the Holocaust or whatever. The fight for black people in the world is the hardest fight. So it represents the fight. We've overcome so much with so much against us. So us being in the fight is a harder fight for them. Right. People in the LGBT community, okay, they have their right to fight or whatever, but their fight is not the hardest fight. Immigrants are not the hardest fight. Black people in the world, in history, is the hardest fight for the opposition, for those who want to continue with power and state narratives and everything, because there's nothing that they can say that challenge the things that we've been through and overcome, and the power of us that we hold, just like you said, with boycotts, the sheer culture of America. Like America can say what they want. It would not be America without us. Physically, culturally, spiritually, any of that stuff. Exactly. It would not be America without us. So that's
right.
And what I said earlier,
Well, that's when we take our energy away, it become a problem.
Right.
Point
Right.
the finger at us.
Mm-hmm. So even when our young children, I say, had their uprising in their own way, it was through music. It was through positivity, talking about the struggle within the street. And the government knew that. And what they did, they banned it, didn't they? They banned certain songs that you couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? So they understand that words have power. They understand that our children was, I think when rap, now the thing about it, y'all had to help me with the new, who was some of the revolutionary rappers?
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube can be questionable,
Mm-hmm.
but he also was a part of the transition away from politically uplifting or positively liberating rap music as well. Now he did hook up with some liberating guys, but Public Enemy, X Clan, Lauryn Hill, KRS-One, Rakim, these guys, a lot of these guys in the mid 80s all the way to like the beginning of the 90s were very positive in the speaking. Poor Righteous Teachers. You had plenty of people, Brand Nubians, Tribe Called Quest, the whole native tongue, Queen Latifah. But at that time in the late 80s and early 90s, believe me, I went through this because I was doing music. And I remember going to different, because back then we just had to put demos out. And I remember going to places and they telling us, oh no, we concentrating on this thing. So enter gangster rap. There was no such thing as gangster rap. You understand? There was no such thing. People talked about gang stuff in raps, but basically they were telling the story and how they should get out of that type of stuff. But in the 90s, they started to promote that as the thing. Oh, well, it's the story. This how we get money. This how we get out of the hood. When in the media, the music industry pushed that. The positive rappers were still rapping positive. They were still putting out positive music. Right. But you started to hear less of it on the radio. You start seeing less of the videos. They didn't get shows anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So, but here's the thing. Like I will say this. A lot of people don't understand this. Those same people, that energy of positivity and liberating music and everything still stands the test of time. Tribe Called Quest can go do a show right now and it'll pack the place out. You know what I'm saying? Nas can go do a show right now to pack the place out. Those gangster rappers, whoever came up, they can't go do a show right now and pack the place out because that time is coming gone. Like the people who put their energy into it never had no real energy in them anyway. It was just a force against the powerful liberating force of our words in our community. Exactly. So they were just doing it for for the money, pushing a thing because they can make money off of it. But those same liberating forces can go do something. Lauryn Hill had one album. She's still touring today. She had one album. Wow. And she touring every day. And they try to bring up, oh, she late. Oh, she comes to the thing late. Oh, she made us wait 2 hours. Nobody don't leave. It be packed in there. 2 hours they waiting for it, you know?
Right. So music is revolutionary. You know, in our time was Gil Scott-Heron on The Last Poets. You know what I'm saying? I don't know everybody know about Bama, the Village Poet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we always had strength in our music. We sung these songs. You could say something about it? Huh? Even jazz. Yeah. Jazz and even what you call it? Tap dancing. You know what I'm saying? All of that, all of that has a story, you know, because see how I got it? I got it though. Through that emotion, you know what I'm saying? That's us. You know, we are rhythm and we are blues, we are all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I can never see us not being us. We're always going to rise to the top of bull crap. Always. And I said it nice. You know what I'm saying? Because that's who we are. We have no choice. We have nothing else but to do that.
Ashe. And I think just to add, like, even the younger people who are doing this type of music now that I may frown upon, and people are like, oh, let the young people be the young people. I will say this, they always come around because the idea of what they're doing is that it comes to a point where they see they're actually being used. Like when you're in the neighborhood, when I used to work at the Hickey School as a counselor, and I remember kids used to come in and say, "Man, I'm selling drugs to help my family out." I was like, "Well, you hitting here? How are you helping your family out? You locked up. Like how you helping your family out? Oh, I'm getting money, blah, blah. You need to come work for me." I'm like, "Bro, you have no place to live. Why do I need to come work for you? You don't have a place to live right now." You know, even in the streets, you was out in the corner hustling for a chicken box and a sweatsuit. You don't have nowhere to live. So why should I come work for you? Your mind is all screwed up. But when they realize that and they come around, I got people that I know that was really hustling, making money, getting what they say, getting it. And they decided to use that same street knowledge, become an entrepreneur. To a point now that I think I remember, but I think even people in the streets forget that they used to be street people. There's such a positive force in the community and the things that they're doing, and the way they present themselves now. I think people forget. I challenge people to remember them being in the streets, and I remember them going to clubs and big BMWs and big necklaces and everything like that. The people today wouldn't even remember that because they came around. They came around. And they realize that the system is just using like I can't tell nobody not to sell drugs. I mean, who am I? Like, if I'm not presenting them with an opportunity, how can I tell them to give up making $1,000 to go make $30? You know what I'm saying? Right. But you can tell them what the consequences are and show them. Like, hey, I might not be making $1,000 a day, but I got a home, I got a family, I'm raising my kids. It's a way to do this and not be looking over your shoulder. And not to be scared of or living a life of saying, I don't even think I'm gonna make it to 25. I don't think I'm gonna make it to 30. That's not a good way. That's not a good way to live. Like once you get that in your mind, that you don't have a chance. Oh, I'm blessed just to have this chance to make it to 25. I mean, we heard that growing up. Yes, Minister Saul tell you that he's mentioned it before. We in our neighborhood, if you made it to if you finished high school, people, oh man, you made it. Why? But like I said, coming up, even when my parents telling me, my grandfather didn't finish high school. My great uncle didn't finish high school. Brought 2 houses, raised his family. You know what I'm saying? Because they had morals, and they had an idea of what it meant to be family and community and help and raise their family.
And we call it mother wit. Mother wit is just the knowledge that you just born with. You understand what I'm saying? You heard that before, Mom, over there? Mother wit. Okay. Anybody else got anything to
I think a beautiful part of it is, it's so true. There's nothing new under the sun, because the younger people now are coming out with so many of the things that we did before, and it's all being presented like it's new,
right?
But that's great,
Right.
that's great that it's still coming out.
Right.
All these young people becoming farmers and trying to build communities and stuff, learning the herbs and learning, all those natural remedies that we used in the past, because I think that's the whole problem with what I'm going through now. I strayed away from that path at a point and got all these pharmaceutical drugs in me, and now it's kicking my butt. So, should have stayed firm to my beliefs. And it wasn't that I didn't believe, but it was just that there seemed to be an easier way out at a point. Like the first time I learned that I had high blood pressure, I went to a doctor, of course, and the doctor was the one that told me I had high blood pressure, and he offered me one pill a day. I said, oh, no, I'm going to this naturopath, and he ended up telling me about 20 pills, 20 supplements. So I said, I'm going back to the doctor. I get that one pill. And that was just the beginning. And, over the years, it just accumulated, kept growing instead of going the other way. So now I got to pay the consequences.
Hey, but sometimes that's life. And sometimes they help you on the other hand. I have a reverse story of that. You know, I try to go to herbs and not take the medicine, so it kind of damaged me. If I had got in front of it and then put the herbs still with it, it would have helped. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So speaking of revolutionaries, you know, some of our people, but one of this person's name was Hannah the Cook of Charleston. Y'all ever heard of her? Yeah. Well, she was a herbalist. Her mother and everybody learned how herbs can heal you, etc. Right? So she said, if herbs can heal you, herbs can also free you. So what she did, she put some certain herbs in her slave master's food, and she became free. If you know what I mean.
I've been watching stories like that on YouTube.
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we had all kind of ops when we was in certain situations that, you know, we used to get free. Now, one of the other things I heard people saying, I really don't. I understand what they're saying when they said you got the house Negro and you got the what? The field Negro. Like the house Negro had it better. No, he was just in the damn gone house. Imagine if his master or this woman wanted him or her every night, or he had all these freaky ideas of how or what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? They live with that part. That's the part I was like, I understand what he was saying, but when you look at it, nah. Even now the field, as they used to say then, the Negro or the slave, at least could go and be with the peoples and talk junk.
There you go.
You know, like we are here now. Okay, we got to go back to the house tomorrow out there now, but we here now amongst each other. They couldn't even do that.
Yes, you're right.
You talking about the mentality and the trauma of that?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't agree with that. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's how we've learned to wear lots of different masks
Yes.
because of that source right there. We haven't learned how to release that to be our authentic self for healing, not just for ourselves, but each other. And I think about the DNA makeup of us and the DNA makeup of Caucasian. They have Neanderthal in them. We don't have any of that.
Mm.
And it really would support why they are so beast-like in the irreverence of taking lives, you know, no matter where they are in the world. And we just the opposite. We want to help people heal. We want to, when we're in our right mind, we want to help people get back on the right track. Even people we don't even like, we still help.
Right.
I find myself doing that.
Right.
Even people I don't even want to be bothered with. I'm like, just do the right thing for Luke and do this. I want to say the people that were at the door were Brazilian Africans. They were from Brazil.
Oh.
And they seemed very interested in coming. I told them to come back on Tuesday.
Okay.
But I think it's interesting. Mama Danu's back. She's drawing all this different energy.
Yes.
There it is.
So we thank you, Mama.
Yeah, I want to second what you were saying as well, and what Baba was saying. Like, the story of the house in the field Negro was not told by the house Negro. It was told by the oppressor. Again, to separate people. They made up the story that it's better to be in the house. No, you've never heard any recollection of a house slave saying, "Oh, it was better for me." You've never heard that. Like I challenge people to go find that narrative. That narrative came from the oppressor, the slave master, to separate. It's the same thing they did to poor white people during slave time. They said, "You're better than those black people," when they weren't. They were out. People don't realize white people was out working the fields as well, but they made them feel more important than the slaves. They weren't getting paid either. That's why when people say things along the lines of, when they say things along the lines, it's like white people they went through it too. The actual truth is they did go through it, but they were separated because of their mentality. And the same thing goes on today. You can have a person telling a qualified black person that they are idiot, they're unqualified. And the person telling you that is the most unqualified person in the world. But because in their mind, it don't matter what heights you reach. You're still not better than them mentally. But here's the real secret. They do know you're better. They do know it. But they've been trained. That's the way they hold the thing down. So, like I said, going back to what I was saying earlier, the quote unquote field Negro, they got, at the end of the day, no matter how long it was, 18, whatever they worked in the field, when they went back to their people, they were able to continue their language that they taught, that they knew. Right. They were able to communicate. A lot of people don't realize when they say, oh, these people learned how to read. The ones who actually learned how to read are the people who snuck out into the field people. The house people weren't, they were the one watched over the most. And like Baba said, anytime they wanted to be, they were the more desired people. They brought in who they wanted to desire, who they wanted to take advantage of and do that. And they thought that those people, if we present you with this, you'll let us know what's going on with those fields guys out there. You know what I mean? But those are the stories that when I hear people talk about slave narratives and they talk to people who lived through slavery, and because I always go look them up on, you know, when I get a chance. And I was like, I've never heard a person who was a former slave say, oh yeah, we was in the house. Oh, we got to eat good food. Oh, we got to do. I've never ever heard that. Like I said, that narrative came from the slaveholder, and it was to separate us. You know what I mean, or make you feel inferior.
Right.
So in those houses, pedophilia was taking place, perversion was taking place, terror was taking place, and the sick thing about there was a book that was written. I wish I could remember the name, but it was a sister who traced her lineage back. This for true, and she was from Louisiana, and so the sickness occurred when our mothers started having babies by these pedophiles, that they were a step up. The psychosis of that, that they were a step. Oh, that I'm privileged now because I have a mulatto child, and the sickness continued because they never benefited from it. Their children were never free. They were never free. They were still a punching bag, or property, or a sperm receptacle for these beasts.
Poor white people the same way today.
That's
they don't
right.
benefit from all the stuff that they support, that they spew. They don't benefit from it.
Right.
You know,
that's why Malcolm made that saying. We're all in the same boat, but you want to roll different directions.
You want to roll different directions.
That's what he meant by that. Exactly.
You got it.
You know, one thing, being the house slave also gave them a little bit of opportunity to be the warriors. They're the ones that grinded up the glass and stuff.
Right.
Yes. There you go.
Stuff
See,
like
they didn't understand that was being done. See, like I said, listen, man, we are so listen, I wouldn't be anything else but black. Thank God. Because our resilience in history shows, like, there's nothing more resilient on this planet than the black person. I don't care what anybody say. Like, we took stuff, and I ain't even talking about slavery. I'm talking about we took things from nothing and made something. Like everything that you see, almost everything you see, came from the mind of the first civilizations, the things that people take credit for. We crafted them from nothing. You know what I'm saying? We understood how the rivers rose and how to watch the sky and how to watch the sky and understand. Nobody did that, and people take credit from that and call themselves geniuses. But they got it from us.
Right. Like I was telling one of my students, he had did something wrong. So his mother and them came in and told us he did something wrong at home. So she say, since he take martial arts with us, she wanted me to do something. So I said, I'm gonna do what I used to do to my children. You know, you got to bring me in a report. And I told him, bring me a report in on Imhotep. You know what I'm saying? He never heard of Imhotep, but he learned something on the way of that. So he had to write several pages of it also. And then after he did that, he had to verbally tell everybody else down there who Imhotep was, you know? Like, say, for instance, since I said that, I never forget, my son is in school. They asked him to write about, Black History Month, of course, to write about somebody. And he wrote about Imhotep. And the teacher said, well, Yeah, the teacher was like, wow, you taught me something. You know what I'm saying? So that's how, because our story's not out there. You know what I'm saying? It's up to us, everybody that's looking here, and have children to tell our story. You know what I'm saying? Our story will always have to be told. And it's going to be told. You know, yeah, it's going to be told.
And it has to be told because it's not important to, I hate to use the word, but the oppressor or the colonizer, it's not important to them because it takes away their power. That story takes away their power. Their power is like, we are the creators. We are the intellectuals. We are the builders. We are, but when the real stories come out, you'll see that they're just along for the ride. They're just along for the ride.
But you know what? I always said this. How did it feel when you found out that you was lied to? That you was lied to? That you was lied to? You was upset, right? And then you was upset because you found out who lied to you, and it was the other race that lied to you, the Europeans, the white man, whoever you want to call them. But they was the one that lied to him. But guess what? They were lied to too. And if you think we hurt when we find out the truth, they hurt double.
They hurt.
Because of some fact, not only was I lied to, my parents lied to me. You see what I'm saying? And you see this on YouTube now and in the media, everybody saying, we sorry, black people.
But here's a Mama Faluke brought up a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That's when their character comes out because they get upset that they were lied to, and the only way they know how to do is actually lash out in a way that makes you feel like, well, what's going on? Because again, to them, it's so strange to them not being the ones that are looked up in high esteem that something has to give. Like that, it's going to be hard to give that up in their mind. Physically, it could happen. You know, you could go to war. Oh, we're taking over. Like, but mentally, it's hard to get that out of their mind. And it's happening, just like Baba said. You see people coming and say, "Oh man, I didn't know this." I mean, something simple, like it's simple stuff that we learn in about our history that the average white person just don't even know. Like it's simple. Like people don't know about Rosa Parks. Like they just, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Simple stuff. Like Black History Month every February, they're gonna talk about Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. They kind of skeptical about talking about Malcolm X, but you know, all the peaceful Black people, they're gonna bring it up. You know what I mean? And you don't know about that? Like that's the easiest thing to know about. But like I said, it's just that. But I will say this really quick about African Americans as well. I think, and it's happening now in the diaspora and on the continent, like, and not just in African culture or African diaspora, but I think all indigenous people around the world are starting to revisit their native tongues. And that is a powerful thing because even us communicating with the drum or communicating with different vibrations, different energy, like those things, I believe we're on a different physiological plane than other people. Like we can understand, like you got to think, people were brought from Western Africa, from all these different places. They all had different cultures. They were able to communicate with each other when they got here. You understand me? They were actually able to communicate with each other enough to make things work, you know, I want to say in their favor, but to just be able to communicate. They weren't like foreign to each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I think we dwell on a different physiological plane than be Black or better than white people. Right. I just think we do.
Well, Maya Angelou said it, and I've always liked what she said. She said, we walk down the streets like we got gold mines in our backyards.
and that's why I was saying that to me, we're giving away too much of our sacredness, you know, and I think they feel that, they know it, you know. I think that's why they're so interested in learning African dance and African culture, because they see the power. They said that they got to have some power somewhere, you know, so they jumping in there trying to get into it.
I hate to keep them, but every time, thank you, Mom. So I was on a plane on the way to Portugal, talking to these some elders. So it was 4 senior Black ladies sitting. One was sitting next to me. The other 3 were in like the row right behind me. And on the way over, I noticed both of us watching this film on the plane about Benin. Right? It was in Portuguese. I mean, they had subtitles, but they were just talking about celebrations and everything like that. So when the plane landed, she was like, "Oh, I just came from Benin," and she's like, "We're on our way to Angola." And I just felt so good. I was like, "That's what I'm saying. Like, go to these places and see, what's really going on." Now, an older white guy chimed in. "Oh, me and my wife went to Benin. Right? We just came from there ourselves." So the lady said, "Oh, did you go to the Voodoo Festival?" He's like, "Oh, I did, but my wife didn't want to go." Right? So we got into the conversation getting off the plane, and this is what she said. And it was a guy from Benin getting off the plane with us. He's like, "Yeah, it's so weird now." He said, "Because when the Voodoo Festival comes up, it's more white people there than us."
Yeah.
He said it's more white people at the festival than us.
We had a saying for culture vultures when we was coming up. You ever heard that before? Yeah.
What I'm having difficulty accepting is how a lot of these African countries are initiating these white people, and so what they're doing, they're releasing sacred information, like Mama said, and they're empowering them to come back here and do things possibly devastating to us, if not for the ancestors, because we know that in order to embrace traditional African religion, you got to venerate, you got to honor an African ancestor. Can they do that? Can they do it? And so I have a beef with our people who are overcharging us when we go over there, but are so happy when it comes to Europeans going and being initiated.
Really quick. So it was a big news thing about Burkina Faso allowing people to come back and get citizenship. And it was a big news because I heard somebody was like, "Oh, I got to get my money because I'm going next month." Well, then the story came out that they rescinded that, right? So everybody's like, "Oh, why would they do that?" But I actually listened to one of the people over there speak about it. He's like, because more white people were coming to get citizenship. They were lining up at the door to get citizenship to Burkina Faso. You know what I'm saying? So he rescinded it, and he had to rethink it because just like what you said, this is whether you like him or not or agree with him 100%, because people were talking about how he's actually a dictator. He's like, he doesn't have elections and things like that. But I think we talked about it before. Like, sometimes you got to put your foot down and say, this is what has to happen before this happens.
Well, yes, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say.
Right. And Africa is changing just because of him. You know what I'm saying? So it's another story about the Mau Mau. So the Mau Mau didn't have time. I'm over in Africa now, right? The Mau Mau name was the Forest and Freedom Fighters. That's who they were, the Forest and Freedom Fighters. So for me to organize a group, it would take forever. For me, you want to fight in the revolution? Nah, I don't think so. You want to fight? So it would take forever for that to be created. So they did it forcefully. They were like, "Come on, man, let's go out for a beer or something." And when y'all take you out for a beer, you end up in a place like this. And the place you end up is that this is your initiation. You can either stay here and fight with us, or you don't live. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes things have to be forced upon our people. You know what I'm saying? But the day, getting back to the young children, like we came up, we were singing, the young children were singing, and the rap that the young children were singing was so powerful then. But what did they do to that? Again, what they did? They made that into what you would say gangster rap. You see what I'm saying? So they always throwing water on our fire. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody said it, they know our greatness. Yeah, they know our power. They study us. We need to just study ourselves. Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, appreciate the donation there.
Okay.
Anybody that's live that have any questions?
Well, with that being said, anything else we want to go over top, or would we go forward from here, or what makes you proud of being an African American or black? You know, we ain't not gonna get caught up in the name, because, and that's another thing. That's division itself. So that's why the word black came about, to kind of settle all of that. You know, when I came up, I was colored. No. But you know what I'm saying, though. You know what I'm saying. I didn't know I was colored, Mom, until I found out. True story. I didn't know there was such thing as a color until I couldn't go into Chat and Chew. When I found out that I couldn't go in there, and I was like, why can't you go in there? Because my father said, then you're colored. I'm like, wow. I couldn't understand that. And I had a little white friend then, because my father was a barber, and y'all would call him a hack. He used to take this white woman to Farmville every weekend. The first she get her groceries and stuff like that. You know, he's a hustler. You know, my father was that, right? And so me and this little guy, we got really close to each other. Little white guy, little white child. Me and him played together until Chat and Chew came in the land, which was a restaurant they built in Mahern. And I wanted to go in there. He wanted to go in there. We two children. He said he didn't know I couldn't go in there either. He's like, we can't wait to go up in there. Then he went in there. And then I'm telling my father, look, come on, man, you got to step it up. I got to go in there too. So one Sunday, my father drove up to Chat and Chew. I said, there's a parking space there. There's a parking space there. He just went on by me, went in the back. The lady came out the door, asked her for our order. She took our order. We got our food, and we left. I'm like, Daddy, we ain't go inside. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm a child. And then my father said, color's not allowed in there. And that was the first time that when I found out that it was a difference. And the next time I seen that little white boy, unfortunately for him, he didn't know why I was mad and why I tore his butt up. You know what I'm saying? Nah, because I told him, I never forget my exact words. I looked at him and I said, so you think you better than me, huh? And that was the last thing he heard. And that was the last time I seen him, because his grandmother would never let me play with him again. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so we all gonna be hurt in this fight. That's what I'm saying. And even the Europeans' children's gonna be even more devastated when they find out, and they are finding out, that we are great people. You know what I'm saying?
Out too.
Say it again.
Some of them are speaking out too.
Yeah, you got a lot of people speaking out, and it always will be and always have been. You know, one of my heroes is what's the guy named down in Harford? John Brown. Right. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about John Brown or his children. Then they see what white folks say, he was crazy. Yeah, they always gonna say he deranged because he's seen through something that was wrong as a white person. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, because when we really deal with this thing, my thing was this: if we are the first in the world, we are the beginning of the world. Everything came through us. True? Yes? No? That's what they say, right? That's what science say, right? And some people so everything that we see is us. But they just have to see it. The hardest thing that I ever had in my life, and I'm telling you the truth, when I was getting into spirituality, and I hated that white man. I'm serious, because I read the story. I felt the hatred. I've been involved in the hatred, so I hated his ass. And then something like we are spiritual people came to me and said, okay, Jack, you good. You say you want to be spiritual, but how you going to be spiritual with hate in you? Yeah, that's what I said. Why you want to come talking to me in my head like this? You know what I'm saying? I'm satisfied where I'm at. But spiritually, no, really, I couldn't. With all that hate I had in my heart, That's why the hatred that I had in my heart, I didn't put it in my children to hate them, but I put it in my children to love themselves. 100 and plus love themselves. And through my grandchildren and through people that I meet, that's what I show. And why I wear African clothes, because I promised myself that I would never wear his clothes again. And that's not for everybody. That's just for my little personal, healing. That's for my personal healing. So that's my take on it. Before we, I guess we could be closing out. And the most, go ahead, Mom.
Yeah, I like to be identified as African because there's no black land, and we know America was not designed for us. It was never designed for us. So I don't choose to use that name. I choose Africa because so much has happened on that continent to benefit humanity, not just us, but humanity. And so, as an African person who has been born in America, I take with pride saying, even if they don't accept me, it doesn't matter, because I know that our journey has been a journey like no other, and that those experiences that we gained not only help us here, but it helps the globe, as somebody said earlier.
I should. Right. How about your take on it? We're going to have one mic go around, and then we're going to close out.
What am I proud about? Just proud about being me. I really don't have words to explain. I mean, how can you explain what you are? I mean, how can you explain you're proud to be who you are? You're proud of your heart. You're proud of your tradition. I mean, what words can convey that, bro? But in terms of the naming, once again, like I stated earlier, I don't care what you call me. Black, African American, African descendant from Africans. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I have evolved.
Right.
I should.
And I think. No, go ahead. She's shy.
I am proud to be an African born in America because I had to learn it. I had to learn to be proud of it. I was born in Kentucky and on a farm of sharecroppers. My parents were sharecroppers, and that meant they did all this hard work and got nothing for it, really. And we were taught, without being told, without words, we grew to feel like, we were not the best, that we were inferior. But and the funny part about that was because my mother's father was a Garveyite, and he did not let his children go out to work for anybody. They had to only eat the food that they grew themselves. But when they became older, they acted like son of our children. That was their rebellion, to say, I'm grown, I can do what I want to. So that's how they ended up in Indiana, which is where I grew up, was Indiana, after we finally moved from Kentucky, because everybody was leaving the farm to go to Detroit or Indianapolis to work in factories and stuff. But just through life itself, I learned the hard way about Africa, that it wasn't Tarzan, that wasn't the truth about Africa. I learned the hard way, and I was so proud, so happy to find that out. And that's how I raised my children. Like I said, my son is now 50. He was my first child. And I learned a few years earlier. That was when I picked up culture. And I tried my best to instill it in all the neighborhood kids, everybody that was surrounding them. That was who we are, and that we should be proud to be that. And I am. I'm still very proud. That's why I still dress the way I do, and whenever most people don't even know that I have a government name, because I've been through this whole nursing home, not well, rehab center thing, and my grandkid come in and say, "Who are they talking about?"
Oh, they call your name.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man.
But yeah, I'm very proud, and I married a man from the Ivory Coast, and that turned out to be a disappointing experience because I don't know why I didn't think that he came over here to get away from the Ivory Coast.
Oh yes.
And you know, I kept thinking I'm going to end up back in the Ivory Coast, but he wanted to assimilate. So most places we went, people thought I was the one from Africa, and he was the one from here.
I'll show you. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, that's another story for another day.
So, yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, you can go first.
I guess I'm proud of the endurance that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Considering we still here after everything that's transpired over thousands of years, and for us to still maintain the cultures that we have, and for us to create new cultures, pretty much off of, if not anything, the remnants of what we were left with once it was taken from us and stripped from us during the Mafia. So that in itself just gives me gives me strength. I'm just like, wow, like a lot of people would not have been able to go through that, and the ones that have, some of them have went extinct, you know. But
Right.
we're still here, multiplying, leading by example, and we have the spiritual influence and moral authority to pretty much guide and really lead, you know, the planet, in my opinion. But overall, for me, it's endurance. I'm most proud of the endurance.
Right.
See, I'm proud of, our willpower, our strength, to keep on going, even when the times is hard. To make something out of nothing. That's another good thing. Proud of. To also be able to, I had it in just left.
That's okay.
But the strength, that willpower to keep on going, to create, use that gift to create,
Right.
and keep teaching people. We always, regardless of what age we are, we always open to learn.
Right. Beautiful. Well, everybody, we head around, right? So, brother Carlos.
Somebody asked a question. I was trying to find the link, but I'll go back to that. I'm just proud. Like I said, I'm proud of being African. Like I said, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm just proud of our resilience. I'm proud of our physical, mental, and spiritual makeup. Like it's hard to explain being who we are because we were always taught that we were something lesser. But when you really dive into it and see what we're actually made of, you can't be anything but proud. Like we have, like I said, as Africans in the world, we have stood up to a lot of things on the negative side of things, but on the positive side of things, like I said earlier, we have created so many things. We had a reason for so many things. I posted that on Facebook today. I didn't left it wide open, but I was like, be a reason. Like be a reason that somebody wants to be something special, And as an African, we are a reason for a lot of things that we take for granted in this world today. So I'm just proud of that. Like we don't have a characteristic of taking. We're givers, with our family, and I'm not anecdotal talking about one or two people. I'm just saying as a whole, we're givers. Even when we historically conquered lands, we gave them so much.
Right.
Like we never took from them. You know, they actually benefited from the presence of Africans in their place. So I'm just proud of being there. I'm proud. I'm glad that runs in my blood. And I have nothing else to, say. Like, I never feel bad about, even growing up not knowing much, I never felt bad about being black, or being considered black or African, or like you said, colored or whatever. And I actually learned that from my grandparents. Like, they never were ashamed. They were from the South. They never were ashamed of being who they were. I never heard stories of my grandmother saying, "Oh, we couldn't go to the movie." I'm her telling the story one day walking home, and this white guy tried to, get her in his car. She was 13, and she went home and told my great grandmother. And this is in rural North Carolina. And my great grandmother and my great uncle and all of them went back to that dude's house and told him, "Don't you ever do that." And I said, in my mind, growing up as a kid, I'm like, and nothing happened? Like, nothing happened to y'all? Like, hell no, nothing happened. I mean, he ain't never say nothing else to me either. So it's like, I feel proud of just that. I mean, I know I'm going all over the place, but just a simple thing is like, I'm just proud of having that in my blood. So
right. So I guess it's left with me. You want to say something, brother? Yeah, you want to say something? He said no. That's a quiet one, y'all. As far as me being proud of being an African American, or whatever you want to call me, but I say America is black culture. You understand what I'm saying? Everything that America really supposed to be American is the blackness that we have shared with America. The blackness, the energy, the creativity, and all that we have given this country right here. Damn right, I'm American, if that's what they call it. But I would never, ever forget my African heritage. You see what I'm saying? And I think the most important thing that we can get out here, like Mama said, how can we share this with our children? This is part of it right here. We do it at TNAT. We do it at PLM, right? I'm right with that? Yeah, we got so many organizations. I always say that we got a lot of organizations. And the thing we had last week was beautiful, it was powerful. And they say if we all come together like a spider can web an elephant. You see what I'm saying? So it's the togetherness, I think, that we're always going to have. And even when I leave here, I have no fear of knowing that we always going to be coming to the top like we should, because that's who we are. And that's who we are. And we can't even help it. I say. With that being said, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank everybody that came in here today. They drafted me today, so it was a good experience. But I just love my people. I always have loved my people. There's something that is just so beautiful about being us. We got so many flavors. We got we got swag. That's what you used to call it. We made up languages within a language. They call it slang. Dig it? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they call it all kind of stuff, but that's who we are. With that being said, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Ashe, we're gonna say the Arambes. Yes, let's stand up. Yes.
Ready?
Harambe, 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 Harambe.
Hey. All right. Ooh, and that's a wrap.